have you been? I'm searching all alone, facing twilight off and on, without a clue, without a sign, without grasping yet. A real question to be asked: where have I been? I'm a shapeshifter. To see me, just a cage of bones. There's nothing inside. Will it unleash me, burning down the walls? Is there a way for me to break free? I'm a shapeshifter.
Final day of Ashcon. This is a part-time job. Like, we put in like 15 hours. Sure, yeah. I mean, just literally live like 15 hours this week. I mean, 13 hours now, but by the time we quit this stream, a lot. So if you guys have been with us the whole time, we appreciate you guys to Oh, now we have reverse, but they can
No,
only
I
hear
just
me.
I still had it muted because we were talking offline. So
Oh, well,
you should have me back now, Cactus. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So
it was better that way. So, like, just
should just never tell Jesse you can't hear him. It's probably better. That's no doubt. So the I mean, it's been a lot of fun doing this coverage. I hope all of you in chat have enjoyed the coverage of Ashcon 2021. I'd love to hear some of your Ashcon stories and know some of the cool things that you saw in your pods, because obviously there was like 35 pods or something, right? Like it was 104 players, so I'm not. I mean, rough math says there's like 25 pods or something there.
Right.
26 pods.
20 plus pods.
Right.
And even the decks we saw on stream were pretty spicy. I mean, my favorite of the week was that Noah deck. That was pretty cool.
See, I still think Red King's Astria deck, which both of those decks were built by Red King, so kind of, yeah. I mean, they're both kind of very similar in that respect. But yeah, I mean, we'd love to, tell us about it and let us know what you saw. Fighting Walu coming in hot with a resub for 1 month. Thank you, Fighting, with the comment of great job this week. Thanks to Mrs. Jessie for the 10K. Fighting, I'm going to come live with you. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I don't know where you live, but I'm on my way.
She messaged me back that day, and like, I can't get my camera set right. She messaged me back that day, like, it's come out of your bank account, and then gave me, like, the fist emoji, like,
Yep.
There's no way that I would win a fight against your wife.
Yeah, no,
she's way too much man for me.
She can be brutal like that, man. Telling you. So we got a couple of shout outs we need to give here from yesterday's follows that we didn't get on stream yesterday. Smite, Baron. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. And that's great, Fighting. That's even better. Comfortable accommodations. and then Bubba09. Thank you for the follow yesterday. That's super sweet. Also, we're climbing up in follows. I couldn't believe this. I looked at our Twitch channel. We have 190 followers already.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It just blows my mind. Like I remember,
that's about 188 people too many.
Yeah, I agree.
Assuming that you and I both follow.
Yeah, because we do. We both follow. The it's wild to me because when we started this channel a year ago, I never thought we'd be sitting where we're sitting today. Right, sitting here with 190 followers, 16 subscribers, which is just boggles my mind.
I admit that I miss like sitting in your old job, like in their studio, doing Transformers commentary.
Yeah,
but this is a better time. We had 4 people listen to us back then, and
I know it was obviously we approach all of this from a pure love and passion for the games that we cover. Cam remembers when it was so small, for sure. Cam, like you've been here since darn near the beginning of our Ashes coverage. You and Schmendrix. I think Schmendrix officially gets the first follower badge, if I remember right. I don't remember who has it now. I'd have to go back and dig through the bowels of Twitch back end, which is awful. If you've never done that, I don't recommend it. You did Fighting? I don't. Were you in the Vector Sigma group at all when did you play any of the Vector Sigma webcam stuff? I just don't remember you, so I apologize.
We were doing that before it was all webcam stuff. We were doing
that's right.
Live stuff, talking about going to tournaments and things.
Yeah, we were doing just recorded podcasting mostly in Transformers for a long time, and then we sort of started transitioning into video, but mostly into Champions video. That was about a year ago, a little over a year ago. We started really the Champions stuff. So I never played in. Oh, gotcha. What deck did you buy? Just curious. And Cactus, I will get to your story, so don't think I'm skipping out on it because I want to read your story here. So while we're waiting for Fighting to respond back about his Transformers deck he bought after listening to us, which is awesome because Transformers was such a great game. It was a sad day when that game
really
died.
Was. I'm still a little hurt about it sometimes because every time Dan and those guys go live on Primus or whatever, Twitch pings me and I jump in there and give them a hard time for 5 minutes. And,
I wish I could do that. I wish I had more time because I'd like to go back to watching some of their stuff and participating in some of that stuff. But
I don't even know what's going on anymore because they have like so many custom sets out, and
for sure.
I'm sure that they're all good. Like I'm sure they're all fun because the ones that we did participate in, it was fun. But
with the 3-sided transformer, so one of the triple changers. Wonder if it was Springer. I'd have to go dig it out of my box somewhere. Yeah, don't worry about it, Biden. You can dig it out in a future stream. Let us know. No big deal. Killer Cactus has his Ashcon story here. I want to read it to the chat, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. My pod was 3 players I didn't know, playing my SB4 Leo, upgraded a bit. Lost my first game to a Brennan burn by 2 life after missing some last round lines, and then came back strong to win the last 2. I was really surprised how my Leo would be outraced by a dedicated burn. Really cool that my pod had no 3-0 and no 0-3 players. Pretty darn balanced. That's an awesome story, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this, Killer. Like, Leo is a great Phoenixborn that's got a built-in mill plan that can do basically anything else he wants to do. Right? Like that's just kind of how the design is built. Like Glowfinch is just fine at milling cards off the top of the player's deck. And combine that with any other strategy, and you've got a pretty good Phoenixborn.
His Phoenixborn text is very good. It's very relevant. I mean, we all know how I feel about Anguish as a card, but
well, I was going to bring that.
Leo is good.
That's a perfect segue, Neil. So Kaya today.
I read this Discord post.
Did you? Okay. I was going to say, did you see the top 5 cards by win percentage? That minimum of 5 decks played.
So my caveat to this is how many Anguishes were in top 8?
Well, I don't know.
3.
0.
We had 1
3.
Leo, right?
1 Leo, yeah. So 3.
Like,
3.
That's saying that they have a win percentage like, it was like 60% or something.
It was 61.3%.
Because if we're just taking Swiss into account, like cards that are really good actually will have a bad win percentage. Because they'll be in all the decks, so some of the decks have to lose.
Right.
And I mean, I think it's cool that Anguish made the list or whatever, and I think that's a testament to the 1 Leo deck that made top 8. We did have a Leo, right? I'm not crazy.
We did, yes.
Yeah.
Just Camp says I played a Leo precon in my pod and one with no cards and 1 life remaining.
You used all your resources.
Yeah. I mean, a Leo precon's a bold move, Cam. That's a bold move. I'm not sure I'm bold enough to play a precon. In fact, I'm not. You're going to see my deck today on stream. So I'm going to be playing Littlest Teapot here at 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central. The poll is up. I'm going to remind real fast that the poll is up here. You can use exclamation vote and space O for Odette or exclamation vote space L for Leo.
And this is the power pod of you and Matt and who's the third person from Shuffle Bus?
Scorpy.
And Scorpy, yeah.
Yeah, so Teapot was a newer player, I think, to at least competitive online Ashes. I'm not sure about his experience in Ashes in general, but I know that he had some difficulty with Matt's Saria list and also some difficulty with Scorpy's Brennan Burn list. Both of those games, the Matt Saria game will be on our YouTube after this afternoon. It's being uploaded now. So once it's done, I'll share it.
Was so sweet. You're talking about the one that you played him, like on Tuesday or something?
Yeah, the one I played Tuesday night.
Or on Monday?
I don't remember what night it was, dude.
It wasn't Tuesday, because on Tuesday we were like 5 hours into a Shuffle Bus final.
That's true. It'd have been Monday night. It was Monday night we played that game. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Teapot, if you're in the chat, I don't mean to do anything against you. I just don't know you as a player. But if you are a newer player, getting Scorpy, Jesse, and Matt is a rough pod.
That's about the shortest straw you can probably draw, would be my guess. You know, and that I mean that as a utmost amount of respect for Matt and Scorpy. I'm certainly the lowest of the low on those ends there, but
yeah, you're gonna get your free win here in about like
yeah, it's very possible I lose this game today.
I definitely understand losing to Scorpio.
Yeah. It's very possible for me to lose this game today. No doubt about it, man. Leo's.
You know, we have what, like 40, 50 unique Shuffle Bus players over 4 seasons,
right?
Ish, something like that. So that, I mean, not even half of the pool of players that show up in this event, and the like 3 of you guys who, you know, obviously Matt is pretty universally like thought of as the best or second best Ashes player in the world. Scorpy, who's a veteran, you who's, you know, veteran-ish. I mean, I consider you to be pretty good. I say veteran-ish because we've only been playing for a year.
Right.
You know, I give you a hard time all the time, but I think in general, I just with what we've done for a year, that you have to be very experienced and at least like better than most of the field.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think that if I put my mind to it, I could be a consistent, you know, top 12 player.
You're 55 unique players in Shuffle. So that's just about half if all of them played in Ashcon. And I don't know that all of them did, because obviously we have players from other side of the world that may not have been able to make this work. I don't know if Stefanos even plays anymore.
No, I haven't seen Stefanos online in a long time. I know he's
like likes our posts and like thumbs ups our Discords and stuff. I like see that happen, but I haven't seen him play in a long time.
He I think he's been playing quite a bit of Flesh and Blood, is what I think is happening.
That is true, because he added me on Facebook, you know, after season 1, and his Facebook it's all absolutely gorgeous, like beachfront, and then Flesh and Blood stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. He funny thing about Stefanos, and it was kind of a small world. Like Stefanos was a Battle for Solari player back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. So I had lots of interactions with him through that
must have been
channel.
Before my time.
It was, yeah. It was early on, post first Kickstarter. So when like all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, it's Stefanos! like
that's
dude,
sweet.
what's up? You know, like it was kind of fun to see that. It was like a welcome face in the community that I had interaction with in another place. So I am kind of sad that he's not playing Ashes more, because I think he's pretty prolific at this game.
I'm sad that we like missed out on a deck tech in season 1, because like I had talked to him about setting up for like a YouTube video or something to talk about his Rymia deck, because it's so unique and cool, but it just, that week was like a holiday weekend and both of us were out of town, and it just kind of like
it kind of fell to the wayside. Yeah.
So if you listen to Stefanos, I'm sorry that happened, because I'm still very interested in that deck. It was cool.
I still wonder. What I'd love to do is like reel him back in a little bit, and have him talk about how he'd update it. Because there's a lot of new cards, and some of those cards are pretty good.
Rymia deck gains, like, I guess it's like a deck that would play Ash Spirit.
Yeah,
probably.
I think Ash Spirit, possibly Recollect. You know, it gives you the option to get your Dove books back. You know, some of that stuff, but
that deck like found its cards through Rymia mostly, right?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
So the Recollect is like a little weird, but yeah, I mean, I think that like for sure Ash Spirit, but otherwise, like that deck is so different. You know, everybody knows how I feel about Purge. Like I don't think that's a card,
right?
Like, but the combination of Rymia and Purge is something else.
Sure.
So like that's like what that deck runs on.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot that function that space, you know, because he doesn't need something like a Foresight, because that's redundant with the Rymia. And in fact, unless you actually exhaust the Rymia, the Foresight doesn't really help you.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd be curious to see.
There weren't any actual real mill tools in this expansion, right? Like literal mill cards.
Well, Ruby Cobra, but it's I don't know if it necessarily fills that Rymia deck. Yeah, no. But it technically is a mill card, right? Like it technically does discard a card off the top of the deck. So I would say that is a potential mill tool that whether the Rymia list wants it or not is
the kind of thing that Rymia list wants is like, I mean, I guess Ashford is a good example, because it's like the stalliest of stall cards, right? Like that's the kind of thing it's in the market for, is like another copy of Neil, or something like that.
All right, so let's we've got about 40 minutes ish until we get the feature match going. Neil, do you want to play a game? Do you have real decks today, or are you still on the same kind of decks you've been playing?
I haven't made any new decks. I mean, I can play something like one of my Shuffle Bus decks or something, but that's about all I have.
That's fine.
I mean, I know like all the decks that I have been building are just like a miserable experience for you.
Well, it's not really that they're a miserable experience. It's just like I had a conversation yesterday after we closed down stream, talking with Carl last night. Just talking about like, what do you do about Law of Fear? Like, what do you do? Like if your opponent's gonna just consistently play Law of Fear round over round, what do you do? And his best answer in that whole process was to build up until you get to your top of round swing, and then the rounds where you don't have top of round swing, you're just trying to remove their board. And I agree. That's basically the way I won yesterday's game, was just off the survival of the fittest before going into top of round.
I haven't made the edit yet, but I'm going to add safeguard to that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I told Carl in that whole conversation. I said the issue is like Neil's camp says Noah because you can turn off the -1 from the Law of Fear. I'm not saying that's not untrue, Cam. It's very possible that's true. The outcomes are difficult and they're tricky, and I'm not sure I know the correct answer as we sit here today for dealing with it as a whole. But you know, I mean, I think we can continue to talk about it, explore it, and consider options and ways. I'm not sure that big units are the answer to it. I think that's a common fallacy to think that. I think the only thing the big units get you is that one top around swing for more damage when you do have it. But to your point, if you can safeguard that, then it's literally 0 at that point, and so now you're back to like a really bad state again. So and these are traditional prison style decks, right? So I am worried about Law of Fear taking away a big chunk of what is Ashes, which is creature combat and swing damage. So we'll see how it plays out over time. I mean, I'm not gonna go all alarmist on everybody here and say it's
right. I mean, it's definitely beatable, and the safeguard like is not the end all be all, right? Like if I play 3 safeguards in that cold deck, it's very likely that I have it twice. You know, that cold deck draws all its cards.
Sure.
But am I, the question is, am I winning, right? Like if I'm doing that, and I don't think I am, because what we ran into yesterday was like I did a bunch of damage to you in the round before you like had your board set up, but then the slashes don't go through anymore, and like I just decked myself, right? Like that wasn't very good. As far as these like Auric prisons go, it's a little different, but
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be. I'm gonna be curious to see. I mean, is there a game state where these things can be, I mean, reliably beaten and done in a reasonable amount of time? Because I think you're gonna lose on sudden death rules to them as well. I mean, I think it's very possible that you're gonna have played many more cards than them, and that's gonna put them in a distinct decking advantage when it comes to sudden death rules. And that scares me a little bit as well. So just gets the recollect right off the top there. Into a Weeping Spirit. Weeping Spirit's such a pain in this battlefield. And then it's like, oh, snake. It's a slippery snake. Yeah, I mean, I think so. So what's going to happen is, in my opinion, what's going to happen is decks are going to change. It's going to warp the way decks are built in general, and whether that's good or bad for the game remains to be seen. But I can tell you that it's a pretty frustrating experience to play against them. Oh, I'm on the wrong layout. Sorry, you're right. I gotta switch over.
The thing about it is that, like, if say that you're playing Log Fear,
Mhm.
and you run into this deck I'm playing, and then you have 3 blanks in your deck, right? Like
Sure.
Log Fear does actual nothing, and so in that case, then you're taking a meta risk, right? Like,
Sure.
so Log Fear is good if you think that
Well, the 2/1 units are only going to deal 1 into that scenario, right? Like if you try to bypass are you going to spend a die to bypass for 1 damage? You actually had to spend 2 to make that 2/1 do something. Like I think the best solutions are 3 attack units that you can do that with, right? But bring back the Weeping Spirit.
yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And I'll concentrate.
Okay.
Iron a Worker. Is this just Carl's deck?
No,
Okay.
it's got time in it. Carl's deck is only 3 color.
Oh, okay. I just know he has a strong love of Iron Worker.
Yeah, he does. What just happened? Why can't I command strike that?
You
Oh,
you
I chose the Weeping Spirit.
Spirit to do the damage.
Sorry, that's wrong prompt. It's Iron Worker to deal with damage.
How do we?
And I gotta add a status token here. I guess
What
that
do you
doesn't count as
what
an
are you gonna
opponent.
status
It
token
doesn't.
from?
Oh, I don't because it's an opponent control. My bad. Thousand Cuts. Jessa tends to do this while aiming for larger swings from time to time. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that a burn deck can beat this, right? Like, I think if you're just on a burn plan, I'm gonna captivate my snake.
I'm gonna shrink it. What you discarded Ash Spirit? Okay. Play Gilder.
Yep. Burn plans can be on a plan to try to beat it, but I think that this like a deck like what you're seeing Neil do here is just going to play. Sure, we'll shoot that for now. I don't care.
Oh wait, hang on.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
back.
full.
My bad.
I only have a 4
I thought you
battlefield.
had 5.
Nope.
Go back.
This is it. Yep. Can't do that. Can't do that. I'm hoping I'm taking away some of your plays here. Yep. Kill the snake.
It doesn't kill the snake. Hang on. I gotta go back again. I need to read my cards, guys.
Yeah, Captivate requires an exhaust.
It has to exhaust it.
Yep.
Okay.
I think something
what am I
like
actually gonna be? Jesus.
I don't know because I'm trying to take away your plays. You get a dice bag for the Captivate, by the way.
Well, fine. I'm making all kinds of misplays.
So buff readies like strengthen to help get damage through it. Also get Weeping Blood Puppets as essentially free units to use for PB damage.
So I should have this back too because I spent this as my first go back.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's possible that strengthens the answer, Cam. I don't know. Like I've been talking about this for some time now, and I'm struggling with it. Like I've built up an entirely full battlefield. I'm going to draw a whole bunch of cards, but what am I going to do next turn? Like, do I just lose?
Why would you lose?
I mean, there's a few ways that I can, but like, I mean, I don't. How am I actually going to beat you, right? Like, it's going to be things like this. What did you do to kill it? Oh, sympathy pain. Okay. Yeah. In turn.
Yeah, the Phoenix points out of the small battlefield. This kind of dumb stuff is good against for sure.
That's not just the small battlefield, dude. Like that's.
I mean, I built this deck thinking that it was like kind of good. I think that it's bad when it doesn't draw Neil like in its second thing, because now you have a lot of control over like.
It's not. Neil isn't trying to build the most annoying deck. Neil's trying to build the best deck, right? That's his goal, always his goal. And I think this kind of game is a real game in Ashes, and it's
right. This would not be a deck I would call quote the best deck, but it is like an archetype or like the essentially what I had the concept that brought me here and to the like laws deck I played the other day with Auric is that Auric is very good at focusing a book, but a non-specific book. So if you have several books that you want to focus, he's good at drawing like second copy of one of them, right? Because you get to see so much of your deck.
Sure.
And so this was one of the things. I'm like, I know that getting like multiple blood puppets and like this nonsense is good, right? Like at least that's what my concept was. And I don't know that this is actually very good, but it does some weird stuff.
For sure.
What am I gonna do?
Thanks, German. I appreciate that, man. Like, just played the best game I could with the best deck I had. That's really what it boiled down to. What are you doing? You're charming the Frostfang?
I'm trying to charm the Frostfang, yeah.
Okay.
And then that was my side. I guess I'm gonna concentrate as my main action. Guilt a link.
Yep.
Guilt link's an interesting card.
Thanks, German. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play it again today. I've enjoyed that list a ton. Um, it's been refined since season 3 to shore up some of my bad matchups. What'd you do? You put a
I played second Blood Puppet play.
gotcha. Okay.
Euro list is good, and I think it's even better in a closed deck format. Like
Mm-hmm.
at least the decks that we have seen on stream anyway, and the few matches that I've watched on Ashteki as this has gone on, seem pretty soft to Sword of Virtue and Enter the Fray.
Yeah,
And your deck being like a very solid control deck on top of having those tools, I think is good into this format. Obviously, like you winning against two skilled players with good decks has shown that to be the case so far.
Yeah.
What did we do?
Nature's Wrath, yeah.
Okay. Well, that stymied me pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, does it though?
What did I draw? I meant to recollect. I don't want second recollect. Good.
Yeah.
This is a law of grace, not a law of fear. Just
yeah.
I just wanted a main action.
Try to take away some of your win cons there. Yep. Yep. Gets the kneel. Kneel from Neil.
Yeah. I guess pass.
Sure. I mean, I can't do anything because of the captivates. And I don't have lethal, so there's just no point to commit anything there.
Okay.
I guess I had the option to gravity train my snake. I probably should have done that.
Well, you would have
No,
had
I
to exhaust it
had to have
first.
been exhausted. Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead. Yep. concentrate and play a concentrate as they go.
There you go. We'll just sit here and do nothing for 45 minutes. Yeah, this is a perfect example of, right, like, you try to play something, but I mean, I don't think even wide battlefields matter when you start talking about the law of fear in particular, because the wide battlefields do 0, so the tall battlefields do 0. What are you doing here?
Trying to snake dice your frostbang.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm going to, just for something to do. Most likely, he's got double captivate here, Cactus, just so you're aware. So, like, I just spent a dice for nothing, but yeah, there's first captivate. He's going to try to captivate the Frostfang, but I can't let him do that because that's the only way I can keep the snake turned on. Just the dice he's showing tell me that's what he's got here.
I'm trying to mill myself to another captivate here, but
How do you get it back, Essence Druid?
or recollect.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't do this.
Yeah, but I mean, I might, like, does it make any difference? Like, it's game actions that mean literal 0. That's what this kind of deck is doing, right? Like, you're just watching a deck that says you don't get to take game actions. So have fun.
We have Walk Fair in your deck.
Yeah, I do.
Unfortunately, I should have played around your Golden Veil by leaving my time dice up instead of spending it on a concentrate. Because I would be able to captivate your guy this turn if I did that, but I can't because I screwed it up.
How does leaving a time die up do that?
Because then I can play Recollect.
Recollect into it. I see. Yeah. Okay.
I should have anticipated the Golden Veil, but I didn't.
All the blood puppets. Too bad they don't have a focus effect, right?
I have the random focus effect on Weeping Spirit, which is actually kind of good in some matchups. I don't know. I didn't even know it did this until very recently, but like removing a discard from the game is pretty good, I think. Especially in the Recollect meta.
Yeah. So you use that to bring an Essence Druid
Ceremonial
back?
Powered and Essence Druid back.
Okay.
Because you're going to go first, and I'm going to take some damage.
Oh, I wait. I didn't I play that? Yeah. Oh,
You're ice trapping the Weeping Spirit I put into my battlefield?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I was like, did I play that? I did play that. Okay. You purged a iron worker. Okay. Still ending the turn. They don't block. Oh, that was a waste.
They
I
do
thought.
not block.
So why are you putting a weeping spirit on your battlefield?
Why are you asking questions?
Do you have Ryle the Meek? If it doesn't block, what would it do for you?
Look cool. It's wearing a necklace on its horns, Jesse.
I guess. Okay.
Talking down to it right now is what's making it weep.
Got it. The blood puppet does block though. I don't understand that play pattern, but okay. I mean, I understand the blood puppet, but yeah, I mean, I don't know here. This is kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I have a lot of things in my spell board right now.
Well, none of those things really bother me.
Right. I mean, I just think it's funny to see like the huge stack of things on the Ashteki board.
Yeah. I mean, basically all I can do is this. So I go here, go boom, boom. Yep, yep. And see if you get veil it. Nope. Okay. Oh, you're gonna redirect it. Yeah. Okay.
That
Probably
was
should
why
have.
I made that was why I made the Weeping Spirit, was because of redirect.
Yeah.
Um
Is what it is, I guess. Sit through 2 more rounds of do nothing.
Druid. Captivate. Attacking me with Gilder.
Attacking it with a crescendo.
Yeah, I figured it was a crescendo when you attacked. So let's see.
But I couldn't, because as soon as he, even if I mean, I guess that is a possible out. I guess is what you're saying. I see what you're saying. it still doesn't change that like that Weeping Spirit was was gonna be a problem. So all right. Yeah, what's happening now? Oh, and here it is.
And
Yeah.
blocking.
Okay. I mean, essentially, I just have to hope I've done enough damage that he fatigues himself. Yep.
Yeah, Cactus makes a good point. If you had crescendoed the Weeping Spirit, that would have played around the redirect.
Sure.
But
I mean,
that's like next level play. I mean, I guess like my play pattern of putting those crappy guys in play kind of leads you maybe to the redirect, and then that would be fine. But that's a little out there. GT. That's, I guess.
what did you do? You just passed?
Just fast, yeah. Because I didn't count my dice right, I missed out on a concentrate. That's kind of bad.
Oh, that's bad. I need to do this to my other killer. Sorry.
That's fine. Does it do in the order that you get a gilder? No, okay.
No. No, sorry. It's just bad altogether. So, remove the 1 damage.
Well, it's actually okay because it's going to free you up a battlefield spot.
Yeah, but you're just going to play I guess you can't play
I don't have the dice
okay. So
for either one.
maybe I'm okay with this. I don't know. What do I want to do? Oh, it didn't give me my main action back, sorry. I forgot to put it back on.
Yeah. I don't know if you're talking to me, Kaya, about the amplifiers, but I do not want to put them in my deck.
Do I want amplifiers in this deck? I don't know. Well, yeah, because you're going to just concentrate into making another unit on my battlefield. So, like, that was just a waste.
I can't concentrate right now. It takes 2 dice to concentrate.
Oh, that's true. That's
I
true.
played very badly earlier. I should have concentrated prior to making that blood puppet is what.
Gotcha. Yeah, Kaya, I mean, I think you're not incorrect entirely, but I mean, it's specifically for this kind of matchup, and Neil plays 3x Law Fear, so then the amplifies make him 2 attack, which feels like meh for...
There's only one Law of Fear in this deck. As a druidable thing.
Okay. Let's just end our turn. No. How are you targeting the Frostfang with... Oh, you're just saying it can't attack?
I'm just I'm using the activate ability of it.
Got it.
Oh, what happened here? Oh, you played explosive growth. Okay, that's a real card.
Here and here. Yep.
Explosive growth got me pretty good. I mean, we're gonna have to stop this game before it ends because this game will probably go on another long time. But
yeah, well, I get to go first next round, so I don't know what you can put out.
Yeah,
that's
you might
set up
me
blockers
at the beginning of next round.
And I'm just gonna pass. Got just a few minutes left on that poll. If you guys want to get your votes in, make sure you do those. It's exclamation vote space and then capital O for Odette, or exclamation vote space capital L for Leo. We're just a few minutes away from this match with Teapot here, so there's Awakened State from Auric here.
Can I make 4 main actions this turn? Did I know they were capturing it? So you passed, right? That's what you did. My side action was that. Maybe I should have main action to concentrate and sniped you. I don't know. I had too much stuff going on.
Teapot, you got to vote for yourself, dude. Come on, man. What the heck? You can do better than that. That's so funny.
Okay.
I'm trying to psych. You're trying to psych me out. That's so funny. Shadowfire getting in on that Leo vote. That's awesome. Purge the molten gold.
I don't even. I don't think it matters against you, right? Do you have anything that interacts with your discard pile?
No, not that can pull a spell out.
That can, like, literally anything. Do you have anything that? I guess you have recollect. I see
Yeah.
under. So I should have taken one of the laws, but that's fine. Law doesn't really do anything to me.
No, it does 0. Still passing.
Yeah, I can't even like awaken state you right now because I don't want to awaken state the blood puppets, and Silver Snake would recover and Frostfang would
not take any damage.
Not take any damage. So I guess I pass.
Okay. We're done. Sure. Here. Yes. Discard that. I'm done.
Oh, damn it. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. I guess you kill me. I thought I had I thought my last card was Golden Veil. I miscounted my discard pile. So
Yeah.
I was like gonna Golden Veil your command strike and essentially double block because of Sun Shield ability. This would be so good. But I don't have 3, I only have 2. So
okay.
You got me. You got me with command strike.
Yeah, command strike in attacks, even if you redirect the Frostfang to the Weeping Spirit, which I won't even make that mistake this time because I have a crescendo again, so I can crescendo a puppet and then kill your spirit. So
yeah.
Yep. That's the GGs.
I think I could have played that better, but yeah, in general, this deck is like definitely beatable.
It's a very deliberate process to play against it, and it's not very much fun to play.
It makes you like play a game that is different than you think you're going to play.
Well, it's not even about playing a different game. It's there's just sitting on your butt for the better part of the bulk of that match doing nothing because there's literally nothing you can do, and you just have to continue to build threats. And obviously, I think Mayoni is potentially an answer to some of these prison decks that try to do this because of Command Strike opening up board states. Even through the Captivates and some of that stuff.
The Captivates are really good. I have never really played a game where I've activated them much. They're usually just like a bad fester, but
sure.
The Captivate activation was good in that game.
All right, Teapot, I have the game up for you here. I'm going to take my headphones off and mute. I'm going to try to run the overlays through this process, guys. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to be able to stay up on that. I've not played a game and tried to run overlays. That's something that usually I would defer to letting somebody else do, but Neil doesn't have any of that stuff set up on his computer, so
I do not.
Yeah.
We didn't know that like Jesse was going to be on stream until last night, right? Like,
right.
So he's gonna get off. It's just gonna be me doing commentary solo because unfortunately Nick was not able to join us today.
Right.
This will be the last match covered for Ashcon week, and good luck, you guys.
Thanks. I'll be back after the match, everybody. Thank you so much. All right, headphones off. Here we go.
Okay, so Leo Odette. I don't know what the result of the poll was. That's a Jesse thing, but it seemed like it was mostly votes for Odette. We'll see. One thing that this Odette deck is soft to is Mill. I know that we saw, I guess I saw because I watched it, and there were a ton of people watching that match, the Matt v Jesse match in this pod. What he was playing a mill deck, but the Saria deck is like 10% mill, 90% grindy control deck. So if this is like a dedicated mill, it's possible that you could like race him to fatigue. But we'll see. Jesse's Odette deck puts a lot of pressure pretty quick. Whether or not that's actual like damage on phase one pressure, maybe not, but it applies good units to the board and many control pieces. All right, so we see Jesse rolling only one basic, though no power sides. 4 basics for the Leo. The ceremonial charm illusion is an interesting choice. All 3 colors being like kind of support colors, but I guess this gives them access to Blood Archer, and there's an abundance. So this may be a mill deck. And Stormwind Sniper, I guess, is the illusion ceremonial cross. Jesse meditates a Brave Knight to play Frostback Book. Killer, you agree? Yeah. And we have what is this, a resummon? Okay, we're going super deep. You think he's gonna resummon his Glowfinch and like mill him 1,000? I didn't realize that resummon had a illusion dice in its cost. I thought it was a basic and a ceremonial. Interesting. It's even worse than I thought it was before. Resummon being a very, very cool card. Just not one that I think is very good. It's just like it's so much investment in colors that don't have the good summons to play. I mean, you can get like your second illusory demon, I guess. So he meditates a psychic vampire off the top, and that's another interesting play to me. Traditionally in the decks that I've built anyway, and I don't know if you agree with this, chat. Psychic vampire is kind of like a one of that I
what you got here?
I just put in certain first fives, but I like a deck that just has a bunch of vamps. That's true. It could be Nightshade Swallow Cam. That would be good.
That's cute. That's cute.
And he has the so he did exactly that. He just resummoned the Glowfinch. So we'll see if this like I assume mill 4 off Glowfinch every round is good enough to race the Frostback Bears.
Orchid Dove. We're just on the last plan here.
Okay, so this is Orchid Dove. We can still hear Jesse just like mumbling. I'm gonna message him that he should mute his mic. I guess maybe you guys can't hear him. Maybe I just hear him in Zoom, but resummon is a kind of card that I love to have in the game, right? Like cards that are cool and interesting, even if they're bad, they're totally fine to have. Like this game doesn't function at peak competitive all the time. You have to be able to sit down and play like dorky fun stuff. And to Cactus's point, like if you have guys you want to die, it does that. So that's like kind of neat. And okay, so we do have a psychic in the first 5. Christian just wants to hear him mumble. Yeah, this is, I'll just shut up. This will be like ASMR stream. I do think psychic specifically is very good against Jesse. And him being down to 3 dice with 4 cards left in hand, I think this psychic will probably be snapping off one of those cards. I guess the abundance, like, it'll be a card that since he got abundance, the psychic will only take a card that he drew at random rather than a first 5 card, though. So that's a little less value. It's still like, psychic vampire is like my favorite unit. I think it's really good. So I mean, this is going to be a game of Frostback Bears, right? Like, meditates an anguish away to get a wolf. Is there an illusion charm unit, chat? I can't think of one. I know we're gonna have illusion time come out soon, so maybe there'll be like a crossover one, but I didn't think there was one in base set. Oh, okay. Seal is a cool card too. I played one in season 2 of Shuffle Bus. Gates. Yeah, get him. This is awesome. Oh, this is so sweet. I love me a good Gates. I can't wait for the illusion time set to come out. Just so I can build more awesome Gates decks. Unfortunately, you can't resummon again. That's too bad. What was his other charm die or other ceremony dice spent on? A Finch? Yeah, it must have been a Finch. This is sweet. All right. Gates is cool because it's like if you just played a card that like drew 2 cards or drew 3 cards or whatever, it it gives you a little bit of advantage. But like your opponent is going to make game decisions based on your books being tapped, so you can kind of like you can get your 2 or 3 card advantage by untapping them, but then also like kind of screw up some plans. Shadowfire wants to know if you love Gates as much as Strengthen. I don't think you need to pick. Strengthen is a great card to have in play when you play Gates. Jesse plays this root armor that I think is going to have absolutely no impact on this game other than it build in 1. Did Jesse make a Gilder and not ping something? Did I miss that? Oh, he killed the first dove. I see. So did Teapot draw something that he could play with his last couple dice here? Okay. Jesse not scared of the mill. Enter the phrase the Finch. Wants to get around the unit guard. Yeah, Cam, I agree. It's not actually free because you did spend on the gates, so you have to like calculate what you got out of the gates and add that to the equation. But it's pretty close to free. Like if you got if you played gates and activated 2 ready spells and a strengthen, your strengthen is like 1.1 cards or whatever. Like just barely less than free. The enter the fray. Okay, so he plays enter the fray, and then we have a with the last 2 dice a change psyche. That puts a second exhaustion count on the Frostback Bear. Oh god, I hope Jesse gets milled out here. And not just because I want to give him a hard time, but because this deck is super cool and Jesse has like no plan for a deck like this. So it might actually happen. I'm not even sure that Teapot won round 1. It's really hard to tell in a match like this where you know, no, I guess we've talked previously on the stream a couple times about obviously like dice differential is easy to calculate and life differential is easy to calculate. So now we're talking about like milling differential, and it's not differential. It's like, is Jesse being milled faster than Leo's dying? Because Leo's not going to deck himself. And so you have this weird race of like cards in pile versus damage on Phoenixborn. He actually uses the Phoenixborn guard to save the psychic there. I guess he just wants to attack with it. I think that's okay. You like keep. I don't know. It that decision has to be based upon cards in his deck because I think you would value 3 life when you're just literally racing, because it would have milled Jesse essentially 2. Would have discarded a card from his hand with the vampire, and then I assume Aftershock the Dove to mill 1. So like you gain 3, mill Jesse 2. Is that like not what you want to be doing? Apparently not. So Odette comes out unscathed. Obviously, damage on Odette matters a little bit because mill doesn't generate a win without dealing damage, but it feels like Teapot is doing what his deck plans to do. Now we see a vampire attack Hammer Knight. This is extremely aggressive. He must have a Fester or something. And Jesse chooses to counter. I'm sorry. Jesse was attacking just top around, and he did the. What happened was it got the mill 2 that I was talking about in the last round. I don't know that Teapot is playing Fester, but that's a dangerous attack to put 1 damage on your Hammer Knight there. Okay, Abundance number 2. Abundance, obviously a real win condition. And makes a Finch. Are we going to see the Finch resummon? Probably. It doesn't seem like he has a better thing to resummon. Resummoning Finch is obviously better than resummoning. So Jesse sort of virtues the Finch. Oh, no. He sort of virtues the Hammer Knight. Okay. I was like, that's a little crazy, but that's what I was thinking, Christian, was that Enter the Fray would be good there so that he doesn't resummon. And the only reason I say that is because I think he, like, if you look at his board in his discard pile, like, there's no way he, like, sneaks in a random, like, Nightshade Swallow or something. So you know that Finch is, like, the best thing he can resummon. And that's what he does. He just resummons it now. I agree, Leonard. I think it's like an extra step to build a purge, which is a card that I don't like to begin with, but we'll see. I mean, I think unless he has a more permanent way to kill these Frostback Bears, that's what's going to kill him. Because Jesse's just like Jesse should just like stop playing cards from hand. Why is it better than Purge Killer? Here we have Frostbite. So all 3 Anguish is gone now. He meditated them all. Played a Steady Gaze on Hammer Knight. I mean, the deck's kind of cool to begin with. Obviously we can see ways to improve it, but I think it's kind of cool anyways. I think this Frostbite is a real problem for Leo. We'll see if I mean I think just like going face with it is going to increase the clock. Because Purge mills 1 until you focus it. Okay. Grave the Knight. Yeah, I mean, in general, I don't like cards that only mill, and that's what we're talking about right now. I mean, like Orchid Dove and especially Glowfinch, I think are both good cards because they like do something else and mill as a second thought. But yeah, the resummon I think is worse than just 1 Purge unfocused because it's so unreliable. Like if Jesse wanted to kill that Glowfinch before it could get resummoned, he could. I guess because Glowfinch is a side action, you can like make it and resummon it in the same turn, and that's like the same as a Purge, I guess. So that's a little better, but that obviously not what he did this game. So he Gilders the Dove, going to 5 cards in deck, but 5 cards in hand. So, and we do have a Dove focus. Once the Dove gets focused too, it's like a much different game, but you have to have actual focus too. And he blood chains the Glowfinch with his Gilder. That's pretty good. Oh, you guys can see his hand, huh? I cannot. Because I'm watching from spectator on Ashteki, so I'm playing with both hands down. The benefit to the blood chains is that it opens up a battlefield slot for him, which this deck may not do. And he also gets a turn where like he could, if he does something to the Glowfinch and not kill it again next round, he could fade himself 1 Glowfinch death also. But I think it's likely that this Grave Knight is getting through for damage this turn, regardless what happens here. Have we seen him play any Oh, he has psychics. That's I was gonna ask if he played any ceremonial cards besides the resummon, but he has psychics. And he meditates away the resummon. Okay. What is this gonna be? Yeah, Leonard, it's possible he just shouldn't make Gilder there. If I was Jesse, I would try to play without spending any cards from hand. So maybe like not playing Gilder is good. And just like leaving the battlefield open and attacking. Or you like frostbite the Finch. I don't know. So this gotta be bomber or horde. I mean, if we're just naming cards that cost 2 ceremonial, it could be widows. Obviously the thing has to die for that to happen. Okay, so he plays a blood chains. He blood chains the Grave Knight, and then he has a psychic left over, maybe. Oh, he uses a ceremonial power to get back a psychic. Yeah, it probably ends up being the same. Like it's going to save 4 damage from the Grave Knight one way or the other, and I don't think it's going to have a big outcome, a big impact on the outcome of this game. But yeah, I mean it's in general. I think that that it would have been better to blood chains before it attacked, but I mean it's going to do 4 last round or this round. It is better to do it in the round you for sure will live, because 4 damage like is a lot, I guess, and you could just die the next round without it, but who knows. So Jesse swings with the Bears and the Hammer Knight, I assume. Oh, he leaves the Hammer Knight back. Oh yeah, he doesn't want to attack with Hammer Knight because Hammer Knight would then put him on 0 cards and the abundances would do 4. Wait, would he have died though? It would have forced block. Okay, so there's an abundance. Oh, he wants to attack with HK. I don't think you should want to do things that is not the right play, but I understand the the sentiment there. And Jesse has the molten gold. Yeah, so I mean, this is the issue with Mildex, right? Is if they get behind in the battlefield, especially the Frostback Bear, you're just in a hell of a lot of trouble because they don't have any. Why was it exhausted? Oh, whatever. I wasn't even paying attention. To finish my statement, that like just the existence of Frostback Bear makes these.
I am back, chat.
Makes these decks that just have like the 0 power birds really rough prior to the Ash Spirit meta, I think.
Hello. Yeah, I didn't keep the thing up. I needed to concentrate. That was a lot to take in, so I gave up on.
Yeah, we were discussing it. Like the deck was cool. It's definitely like it's got a lot of cards in it that we could probably be upgraded, but the idea was definitely cool. And he like slammed the resummon right away, and I was like, oh, I hope he resummons this Glowfinch.
Yeah, I was I was trying to figure out.
Really, it's like really low impact, but it's funny, and like I mean, he came pretty close to putting you on damage from abundance.
Yeah, he would have definitely started.
State.
He would have definitely started abundancing me there for sure for damage, without a doubt. The good game, Teapot. That's awesome. I was like when you played the resummon, like my brain was racking like in charm and ceremonial and illusion. What are like great resummons targets? Like I kept thinking like, well maybe false demon. You know, like I just kept like trying
Chat
waltz
figured
through
it out that in these colors, Nightshade Swallow is probably the best one.
Yeah, Nightshade Swallow is also probably pretty good here.
But False Demon is probably the next best one. It's,
yeah, I think I actually
rough, right? Like resummon as a card is a very cool effect, and I made this point while you were playing, and like right at the beginning of the match, that like resummon as a card is very cool, and there's definitely space in the game for cards that are just cool for like fun decks. But it's just because it shoehorns you into illusion and ceremonial, like it puts you in these weird colors that don't have the best things to resummon.
Yeah, it's interesting because resummon Rhino is obviously incredible, and there was a chance that this was a Rhino deck, but like if it was a Rhino deck, I feel pretty well equipped to deal with.
There's no way that Rhinos can be Sword of Virtue, so
yeah, or just ping festers, Gilder festers. I mean, there's like a billion ways that I can block that. Plus, Rhino doesn't bypass the Gilder, which is just kind of funny to me. The Gilder can still block it, so yeah, and with no nature, that's true. So the other thing was, I've played against a lot of these mill decks, and I was like, well, if you're on mill, I don't know whether Hammer Knight Root Armor is great here or not, but I thought it gives me the opportunity when the timing is right to open up the board state for a big attack. And then he just didn't let me have that through the steady gaze. So that was.
I just assumed you drew the Root Armor off the abundance in round one.
I
first five it.
Yeah.
There's like the only card that does damage in those colors is Sympathy Pain, right?
Well, Sympathy Pain. I mean, he was also just like if you have like the two attack. Well, in Illusion, there's a couple of things you can also do. What's the card that lets you copy your unit?
You're talking about Strange Copy?
Strange Copy. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if Strange Copy could be a thing where you just see this Glowfinch turn into a Strange Copied, Hammer Knight or something. I just didn't want to, like, end up in a world where, like, my Hammer Knight had one life remaining on it and didn't get to recover and protect itself from odd sources of damage that could come up.
I think that the Root Armor was probably not great looking at Illusion, Charm, Ceremonial, because not only is there like not very many sources of damage, it also there's like a bunch of removal spells that don't care about the Root Armor. So you're like setting up yourself for a 2-for-1. It didn't happen in this game, so it didn't really matter. But
yeah,
and it was an abundance game, so you didn't actually lose a first 5 card out of it. But
yeah, it was kind of weird. I thought about I had an early opportunity to Nature's Wrath. I lost 3 cards off the top of my deck, and because I did get a Nature's Wrath on the draw, along with a sword on the draw, and my plan was to play like going in. My plan was to use the Gilder and Bloodchains, the Glowfinch, but once he played the resummon, it changed the plan, right? Like it became, I can't do that, like because the resummon's gonna, I could do that, but he's still gonna get the Glowfinch back, and he's still gonna get 2 cards worth of value. So it started just turning this like state where I'm like, I'm just gonna have to accept these 2 cards worth of value, and like, can I kill it? And when I tried to kill it, he just blocked, which I think was actually even better for me that he did it that way, because
right. And it didn't actually matter because the same play was made at the top of the next round.
Right.
So you just like it was the difference of like milling you before you drew or milling you after, and I don't like that's not any different.
Yeah, it was the Psychic Vampire on the top of the round that hurt a little bit, that I didn't get in on that vampire and kill that vampire, because that did take me down to 4 cards in the second round of the game versus being able to draw an extra card going into the round.
Psychic is weird because in that deck, Psychic is essentially just dies mill one,
Mm-hmm.
because since he's playing Abundance, you like don't, the discard is like mitigated by the Abundance, right? They
Yeah.
kind of like those kind of effects fight each other. So it being like a 2/1 that dies mill one is fine in the mill deck, but the discard is less important.
Yeah. Yeah. The big changes to this deck was I got rid of the Hydra, Terrifying Hydra in this deck just for more copies of Grave Knight and Hammer Knight. I got rid of a couple of copies of the Shepherd because they just felt redundant. Like I just all tournament here through Ashcon. I just was getting value out of being able to stick 1 or 2 Hammer Knights or 1 or 2 Grave Knights or whatever all tournament long and not needing to like recur. I still have a 1 of Shepherd in the deck. I do have 3 Golden Veils, but
you also have ceremonial dice power that you could use. Like if we get to like real late game and both players are down on resources and you need a knight, you have access to it through ceremonial power also.
Right. And then, so I knew like there was a chance that the way this game was going to go if it was a real heavy mill, but Leo can do some weird stuff. So I wasn't sure if like this was going to be like a Shadow Spirit, Shadow Guard, I just didn't know what the illusion plan was going to be. Like, because all of those things are still possible after playing Abundances, right? I wasn't 100% sure it was going to be Orchid Dove until he played Orchid Dove. I was still worried that there might be a 3-eyed owl here. That's a possibility. So I wasn't super confident I knew exactly. I knew the only thing I knew for sure going into the first 5 looking at Leo in this dice was that Frostback Bears were going to be the MVP here.
Right. Frostback Bear, obviously very good against Glowfinch.
Right. But I didn't know... I didn't know like what my next set of plans were going to be other than pure burn. And so like there was a part of me that almost first 5 to Molten Golden and Ice Frostbite just so I had a onboard plan.
Looking at these colors, I would have picked Frostbite over Root Armor. That's what I would have done. I don't know what the rest of your list looks like, but I would not have started a Fester.
I did start a Fester. I started a Bloodchains.
I would not have started a removal spell except for Sword of Virtue because I know that the Sword of Virtue you can get like a value out of by second attack if he doesn't play a real threat. But when you look at those colors, the only 3 dice unit is Blood Archer.
Well, he only has 4 conjurations. That was the thing that was really messing up my numbers.
Oh, well, you're right. I should have looked at the conjuration pile because then you could have called Finch, Orchid Dove very easily.
But it could have been Finch and Shadowhound just as easily.
Right, but then Bloodchains is even worse, right? Because you can't target the Shadowhound.
Well, I only care about the Finch. Because if I can exhaust the Finch, like my Hammer Knight can hunt a Finch, and that's fine. I didn't want the Finch to turn into the secondary win con if the board got stalled out. I mean, Shadowhounds, that was where the Root Armor decision came in.
And Leo's also right. Finch is or Shadowhound is 2, so that couldn't have been it.
I thought Shadowhound was 3.
It could have been 3-eyed.
Yeah, it could have been 3-eyed. It could also have been Shadow Spirit, according to Cam.
But in either case, whether it's 3-eyed or Dove, like I would just start essentially nothing to interact with my opponent and just try to kill them. It'd be like,
but how do you? Yeah, I mean Frostbite. I agree with Frostbite as a decision point, but how do you kill them? Besides the bears, nothing else in this deck is going to bypass. Frostbite, Molten Gold, those are my outs.
I start Frostbite, Knight, Bear, because that's 7 dice, Sword, and do you have another book of anything?
Gilder.
And Gilder, I guess. I guess Gilder doesn't fit though in that first 5.
Mm-hmm. That's generally the issue.
Like Knight.
So generally, if you go like, well, the 2 knights are kind of irrelevant unless you can clear the board and make sure you have a top of round swing.
Well, you just clear the board by just swinging with them, let him block, and then you have top of round swing. Like I would just put guys in play and assume they're going to get through in round 2.
But they didn't because of his steady gazes and changed psyches, double exhausting. I got a bear double exhausted, a Hammer Knight double exhausted, and then Grave Knight took an exhaustion at the end here, so it wasn't available at the top of the round.
I'm just telling you what I would have done.
Yeah. I don't think that you can plan. I think
because
Sword is obviously very good if you get double exhausted. I agree. I think that's where it's insane.
Right. So Sword counters City Gaze, Sword counters Blood Chains, and so you just like set yourself up. And if he has a removal spell, which he probably does because he's in those colors, you just try to like overload his removal spells. And because even like to your point, Bear is a bigger threat than these Knights, but you can't ignore the Knights either. So like,
right,
you just like put yourself in a position that you had in whatever round this was. I don't know what round the game ended on 4.
Yeah,
you just like put yourself in this position earlier in the game.
All right, Teapot, are you still here? I just want to see if Teapot's still in the channel because we are hitting the timer here. So I just didn't want to. No, I guess we got time. I thought it said 59. Sorry, my bad. Cool. I wanted to let you know just for playing on stream today, the dice I would get from Nick are going to you. They're not coming to me. So you will be getting the dice just for playing on stream today. So thanks for being willing to jump in and play a match today for us. I appreciate that. And then Kaya, yes, I did win the pod, and so that there will be dice for Shuffle Bus 5 that'll be given away as a raffle. You're welcome, Cam. Thanks for coming to the streams. So, yeah. So, anyways, I just didn't want to miss that before Teapot took off. Sorry, I had planned that before the match today.
Fighting says you'll lose. He wants you for night.
Fair enough, fighting. It's kind
of because we all know it's harder to lose to Jesse than beat him. So
yeah,
that's why you're rewarded.
Yeah, it's harder to lose to me than beat me. Yeah, but maybe that might be true. I don't know. You're welcome, Teapot. I enjoyed the game as well. I had a lot of fun, and I'm having a lot of fun talking about how to play around it as we go end a game. Because to be fair, like, the abundance does this to you, right? Like, we are sitting here in round 2 or 3. I mean, what are we? Round 3, and I'm almost out of deck. Like, that's what abundance does. So and it does put a lot of pressure on decks.
More abundance. Well, maybe not abundance specifically, but more like mill type decks going into the next meta, I assume.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see because Aura kind of abundances himself, which is just better. Like, Concentrate just lets you draw your own card. Right, and you don't give your opponent gas.
Yeah, Concentrate and Insight both on Auric. I mean, I'm not sure that Mill will be good because I just don't know. You know, it's hard to tell when or if Mill will be good.
Yeah.
But in general, it got more tools now that the Auric deck is printed.
Yeah, I mean,
Auric specifically, but like just Ash Spirit and Snake, and maybe you count Rile the Meek, maybe you count Shepherd.
I think it got more.
Maybe you count Captivate.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely got more tools. Whether or not those tools actually advance its win con, I mean, I'm a little unsure. I mean, like, Ash Spirit is only good for stopping the plan that beats Mill if you've got the Flock Shepherd. The Flock Shepherd is nearly impossible to keep alive. So
right, I think Captivate is secret OP. Like, maybe it's not even secret. I just think Captivate's very good.
I mean, it's a 2 dice removal spell, right? Like, so it's on par with every other.
It's a little more than that, right? Like, because you put yourself in a situation where you get to like charm the bear early. And then it becomes, you know, half threatening to you. Even so that, like, it's like a removal spell that gains you a life. And it's very flexible because if you get to a state of the game where I charm your bear, you attack me with it for 1. And then we get to the end of the round and I've decided that I don't need to captivate it. I just won't.
Right.
Like,
sure.
And it also puts you in a situation where, like, because the Captivate activation is a side action, you can like play a blocker and captivate their best attacker if they have like a big swing coming at you. And it makes like a pseudo double blocker game state in the future after you've played it. I don't know that it's like crazy good, but just all the mill cards are in Charm. So Charm becoming more powerful is going to make the mill decks more powerful. That's, I mean, it just, right? Like, it. And I don't
Yeah,
know much
I don't
about the
know.
mill decks in this game. I have never played one for real. Because I don't think that decks that win with abundance are even mill decks. Like they're just abundance decks.
Yeah,
Abundance is like this weird thing that's like abundance is like the coolest control tool in any game because it's like this weird card advantage engine for a majority of the game, and then it like transforms into a win condition in the
yeah.
late game. And that's like the exact card that every control deck wants is like if I play this in the first 3 turns, it's a draw 2, and then if I play this after turn 5, it kills you. Like
Right. Yeah, I think abundance is a very powerful card, obviously, and I think that it's got a great chance to be one of the best cards in Ashes if illusion gets a little bit more support. And we'll see what happens with the illusion time cycle when that happens. Jeremy, I'm happy to give you a shout out. First Five Fridays is tonight, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, right on the Ashes Discord. There's a channel called First Five Fridays. It's all casual matches, all varieties, from pre-cons to casual constructed to competitive constructed to, Ash Techie to TTS to webcam. You play how you want to play. And you guys should be there for sure. Without a doubt.
That played in Ashcon, like not, obviously you're familiar with Ash Techie after 3 games of Ashcon. Go play in First Five Fridays. It's fun.
Yeah.
You meet people. You may have already met them. Like,
yeah,
we want people in the community.
So
active in the community.
We do have a big announcement here ourselves to make, and that is that Shuffle Bus Season 5 is coming. We have picked a date for the start date. It is going to be October 19th. So we will start October 19th. You can mark your calendars. October 19th is first round of Shuffle Bus 5. This will be the first tournament where we have Lulu and Auric legal. So start playing with those Lulu and Auric decks. Deck list will be due by the 15th of October, and all of this will be going out soon. Poor Pratt's get his. Where's our Rocky training montage? Who was the guy that was doing that? I was fighting. Fighting, come on, man! You got a perfect opportunity to drop the training montage right now. We just need like Rocky training gifs all over this feed. I'm telling you, let's go. And then, so all deck lists will need to be submitted by the 15th of October. The registration will close the 12th of October. So there's about a 3-week-ish registration, 2.5 week. Me just throwing Falcon punches with sunset behind me. I love it. I love it, Christian. That's super awesome. So yes, Shuffle Bus 5 is coming. The series you all know and love for the most competitive Ashes around is going to be coming back. We're going to get one final season in. It will lead to an invitational. There will be more information on the invitational to come out in the next few weeks. We are putting a call out in this one as a backup. We need some potential table judges because there will be time limits in Season 5. And there will be some exceptions for certain players. So you can check that out in the rules document when I publish the rules document. But because of the time limits and because we're not sure chess clocks will be working yet by the 19th, if they are, great. If they're not, we'll use a standard game timer. And then there will need some help with some table judges for any sort of slow play call-outs.
You will not need to be available for an entire match.
Right.
Just be available. Like if you're available during the prime times that people normally play games on Discord, that if a judge call is made, obviously Jesse or I, if we're available, we'll answer it. If not, we just need a couple folks that can
jump in. Yep. So
message us outside of don't just tell us on stream here because we'll
no. Please message.
Discord.
Yeah, DM me or Neil on Discord, and we'll start to build a list of those. We're probably looking for 2 to 4. Would be my guess.
It doesn't need to be very many. We just want to have enough coverage that like if it's and we would like somebody like in Europe or in Asia,
right?
To have the time frames that's hard for us.
That's right. Those off hour times when people play games. I mean, I tend to be up late most of the time, but that doesn't always translate to the time that those people play games.
Calls will be handled by us, but we just want to be prepared. So if you're interested, let us know. But yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah,
about a month from now, just under a month from now, we'll start.
Just under a month.
5.
Yep.
I assume it will be the first like actual tournament that you can play Floric and Lulu in. I don't.
Yes. Well,
I don't know if they're doing that in Covenant or not. But
yeah, I don't think so yet. No, because they're a
because
webcam.
They play webcam, so yeah,
Right,
they can't.
right. And I do have an in-person tournament October 9th. They are doing it for Carousel. That's true. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Way to steal my thunder.
October 9th, I will be in Kansas City, Kansas at Tabletop Hobby and Games Game Cardboard Cafe, I think is what they call it now. They changed the name on the cafe portion, but we do have an in-person Ashes live tournament with prizes. Plaid Hat has sent me a surprise package of prizes. I have no idea what's in it, so we'll see what we get.
Keeping it and not giving it to you.
Yeah, just like the dice. Haha, fooled you all.
Yeah, we're holding it all. No,
gotcha.
If you guys are in that area, if you're anywhere close, go to Jesse's tournament.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I would love to play there. Obviously, it's a long drive for me, but
I just want Neil to fly. I mean, I've now flown to see Neil twice since he moved to Florida. Once. I came down. We hung out one time right before you moved. But
yeah, you stayed in this house with me when my cousin owned it, and we were playing in. That's what's playing in the PPG thing for Transformers.
Awesome. Carousel closes October 17th, so that's perfect. That's going to work out perfectly.
Nice.
We will continue to look at how to implement more prizes, but it's a tricky beast to do until we get the actual OP kits, which hopefully will be coming any day now. They said they thought October, so I'm sure COVID will push that some, but hopefully we'll start seeing a chance to buy those up and be able to use those as support for Shuffle Bus and other tournaments within the community. The other kind of cool things that are going on as we move forward is next year's league play for Shuffle Bus will be week-long matches to give more of our international friends an opportunity to get their match in and also allow for more people to participate in other activities within the community, because we know that once a Shuffle Bus season kicks off and those 4-day round timers start, it gets hard for a lot of people to do anything else but Shuffle Bus, and our intent was never to monopolize the Ashes community's time for a period for the better part of 4 to 6 weeks. So that is a change that will come to Shuffle Bus in 2022. And then we have a bunch more things that we'll work on and surprise y'all with as we get closer. German's working on a little project for me right now. I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome of that, and we'll go from there. But I'm just going to say this has been quite the celebration of Ashes this week, Neil. I mean, as we get to the end of Ashcon 2021, I have played so much Ashes this week. I have commentated so much Ashes this week.
I mean, I haven't played very much just with you on stream here, but I have watched more games of Ashes this week than I don't know, last 8 months or something.
I know, right?
It just seems like I'm just at work or whatever, and I just put Ashteki up and see who's there. When midweek we're having 10 plus games on Ashteki going, that's awesome.
I agree. I would love to see this momentum carry through the community and get there before continue to just bolster this online community and continue to sort of establish a larger community base that can translate into the real world for sure. And German, I'm definitely down for whatever. Closed list versus open list Ashes after this week. Wow, that's a tough one to answer. Both have interesting merits. To me, personally, I'll give my opinion because I have been weighing on this internally for a little while. Open deck lists, in my opinion, give the best players the greatest opportunity to win, and also give the best players it evens the playing field, if that makes sense. It says you can't run something that's surprising and work your way through a tournament that way, because everybody's going to know what you're running, right? But the closed lists do allow for more non-traditional meta decks and I'm using meta very loosely here because I don't think we have a defined meta for Ashes even at this stage after 4 seasons of Shuffle Bus. I think we have some ideas of where the meta is at, but
I think that we could define a meta pretty good right now after season 4. That's all meaningless because of the Odette Auric expansions now.
Lulu Odette.
I mean, sorry, yeah.
Other amazing
Lulu.
Other amazing female Phoenixborn that's going to be a dominant force.
On the overlay was the problem. So I mean, I think that after 4 seasons, we have a pretty good idea of what's good for now. But going into the next season, it's all up in the air.
Let me ask you a question though, German. If you were playing either one of those 2 decks, those surprise decks, Symboli Noah, even Red King's Astria deck, if we want to use it as an example, I think all 3 of those are pretty good examples of surprise deck lists that are powerful in closed list formats. But my question is this: those players that have those kinds of decks are never going to go on stream, right? Like, they're not going to want to go on stream at all. And there's nothing that prevents a player after playing that to get together with their buddy on Discord and say, this is what he did. Right? So, like, those surprise decks are only surprises for 1 round. And in a format like Ashcon, where they were played in really small pods, there was no way to really cross-pollute, if you will, and say, oh yeah, there's 30 other players that, somebody knows somebody that watched this thing happen. That, like, closed deck lists in Ashes, in my opinion, will push us to a place where teams will form. They'll have to. Right? Because...
assuming that you care about it at a competitive level.
Yeah, assuming that you care about it at a competitive level, and assuming that you care about it and assuming that prizes become the line. I mean, Walloon wants me to throw $10,000 on the line, right? So, like, okay, let's figure out how that's going to happen. If we could get to a $10,000 tournament, I'd love that. I'm just going to say that right now. I would love to be at a place where we're saying, yeah, let's make 10K tournaments a thing. But those lists, those things suffer from the same problem. Like, you sit down in a real world event and you're going to get scouted. Now, the question is, do you let everybody scout you with a video on demand? Right? Or is there some percentage of the player pool that doesn't get to see that because they were playing their own match and they had to immediately jump into the next match? I think closed deck lists work pretty well in this kind of format where we were done really quickly. There wasn't a lot of time to talk. I mean, I was sort of hunting today to find out who Littlest Teapot was playing, not because I wanted to edge up. I needed to make art assets for the stream. And obviously my opponents didn't tell me, which is fine. I just asked them because I said, I just need to know. And I said, I'd already put out, to be fair, in our pod chat, I'd already put out what Phoenixborn I was playing before I started asking. So that eliminated...
the outcome of this game had no effect on the standings.
Right.
You gave the dice away.
Right. So, like,
there's literally no upside.
No, right. I mean, it was, for me, I was just trying to create the assets we needed for the game. So...
so I'll give you my 2 cents real quick here. I think that both open and closed deck lists are a good way to play Ashes.
Sure.
The game is just different, and it's not one is better or one is worse. I actually think that closed deck lists give the experienced players a bigger advantage than the open deck lists. I believe that because what the open deck list gives you is what you need to play around. Mm-hmm. So the players that are very good and have all the conjurations and all the dice costs and all the potential cards in every color memorized are going to be better in closed deck lists than the players that don't. And at a very high competitive level, that's probably every player. But I don't think that we have, more than 10 of those in the world that literally take advantage of that in closed deck tournament. In the open deck tournament, you're playing a chess match, right? You know what you need to play around, and you can sit there and say, okay, my opponent will first five this, I will first five this. Let's play out round 1 myself as a solitaire and see how it breaks. and you end up on making this decision where it's really kind of the same decision as you would make in a closed deck tournament, just with better information, right? Like you're still in a closed deck tournament trying to make your first 5 in a way that you're going to come out around 1 ahead. And you're going to do that with the best information you have, which is their dice colors, the number of dice, the number of conjurations, and their Phoenix Born. And so, yeah, fighting. I agree. Like to Jesse's point, also in the closed deck list, you're going to hit these weird, like what I would call like non-meta decks that just beat you because it's a terrible matchup. And that's like a decision every player makes in every game going into every tournament is like, I'm going to play this deck because I believe that it has the best matchup against the largest portion of the field and I have the highest chance to win with it. And there's this 10% of the field that's very good against me and I can't beat, but because it's 10% of the field, I'm taking that risk and that's going to happen. So if you run into the jank magic and get beat, you have to be okay with that. You can't say, oh, this is such a bad beat. Like you made that decision.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. That it's probably going to ruin your day because that person, you know, maybe if he's playing some off meta list may go 1-6 and you were the one win because you were the matchup that he hit. And that's going to ruin your tiebreakers. And that's sad. But like, that's just the nature of competitive card games in general. For a tournament like this, that's much more casual. The closed deck lists are fine. Nobody's going to go scout. Nobody's going to go like try to corner case you out of the thing. Like just be some kind of, angle shooter on you. So I think it's great. This was obviously how they meant Ashes to be played. This is how it's written in the rule book. You know, you don't have open deck lists. So though, I mean, I guess if you play pre-cons, you have open deck lists, but I think both are very valid ways to play. And to the point that we always make and that German just reiterated, for our event specifically, open deck list is the only way to go because we want to encourage people to be on the stream. And it does put you at a disadvantage in closed deck lists to be one that is showcased. You know, you worry about scouting, but if you're like one of 2 matches early on in the tournament that are on stream, you're way behind in information given. So we want to keep that even. I think that both are very competitive, both are very good. And like this was awesome. I agree. Commentating on those matches, like even today's match with the Leo, he like puts a resummon in play, like, oh my god, what's happening? Like
I know. It definitely took me back for a second.
And specifically, I know I already said this the other day, but that Noah deck was so cool. And it was so fun to like speculate on how it was going to work from the commentator seat. Like, I like that, you know, when we go into Shovel Bus, I like doing the commentary, but you know, I can analyze the matchup prior to the commentary just by looking at the list. In this week, I've just been like, this is probably what it is. But then, you know, they put like we had multiple decks that played Gates, and it was just like every time it was just like, oh my god, he played Gates. Like
Gates is a good example of a card that it thrives in a closed deck list. Right? Like that is a good example of a closed deck list card.
Right.
Like,
the kind of decks that have like the very powerful but easily disruptible first 5s are much better in the closed deck list, obviously. So you can have these wacky like craziness in round 1.
Gates has been extremely popular in this tournament. It has not been as popular in other.
Well, it was definitely well represented among the matches that we commentated on these 5 days, because we saw 3 Gates decks out of maybe 4 Gates decks. I don't remember because the Astri deck had it, the Symboli deck had it, and the Noah deck had it. I don't know if there was another one.
There was one today too. Teapot had it today. He gates me in round 1.
Oh yeah, so 4 out of 10 decks that we commentated today, that is an extremely large number of Gates decks.
And Zizix is saying all the players at his pod had it.
So maybe it was just like very highly played among all 80% of Ash's decks play Gates.
Fighting. I can't be
Is that
true.
a real stat, or are you just making that up?
Well, isn't it something like 76% of all stats are made up?
That was matches. It was 4 out of 10 decks this week.
So Gates are in 417 decks on Ashes Live right now. I don't know how many Ashes Live decks there are.
That could be 50%, or that could be 0.1%.
Right.
Press X to down.
But
it was fun, right? Like Gates is like, you're like, oh my god, we're like, this whole turn is different than we thought. Like,
yeah,
it's like, that's fun to commentate. I think the closed deck formats are fun to commentate. So
yeah, I look, I really enjoyed it, and I think that the Invitational, which understand that I will not be, Neil or I will not be, no matter regardless of outcome of season 5, will not be participating in the Invitational because we're going to just strictly dedicate to coverage.
I'm winning it.
You're gonna win it. He's gonna supersede this.
I don't even. If I win season 5, I still might not make the breakers of my.
Oh no, you definitely will. You definitely will.
But, anyway, yeah, we obviously we'll announce what's going on with the Invitational, but we will not be in it. Any prizes that are available for any future Shuffle List tournaments, we will always pass down.
Yep.
Just like Jesse did with the dice today.
Yep.
That's not what we're here for. Like, we're here to make the content and grow the community and have a good time.
Well, we did it, chat. We have finished Ashcon 2021, the first ever Ashcon. Let's hope for an Ashcon 2022.
It would be cool if this was like every 6 months or quarterly. Like,
I would love that, like an Ashcon spring, Ashcon fall kind of thing. And
yeah, like I mean, not every month.
Yeah, but I can't do this every month.
Well, I don't think anybody would want
to. Yeah.
Right? Like, but if it was every 6 months, or if it was quarterly or 3 times a year or whatever, like, I mean, hopefully the state of the world will change and this will be replaced by in-person stuff.
Right.
But for the time being, like, this was a cool way to handle the tournament, and it was a hell of a lot of fun to be part of it.
Yeah, I just, I mean, we have been part of the Ashes community now for about a year, and I was trying to go back and figure out exactly how long it's been. It's been...
it seems like longer than that.
It was probably right around mid-August. So maybe a little over a year. But I was having a hard time pinpointing exactly when we started participating in the Discord and really started covering Ashes on Shuffle Bus. And yeah, I mean, it's been that long. But I think it feels longer just because what a year we've had as a whole, right? But the beauty of Ashes to me is that this is a game that even a year later, there's ideas to be explored. There's decks that we've never seen. There are great decks still remaining to be discovered, in my opinion. And that's a real testament to this card pool and what it brings to the table. Obviously, the larger the community gets, the faster we'll get to quote-unquote solutions, if you will. But I feel like Ashes is in such a great place, and with the content coming out at the clip that it is coming out, it feels like we never get to really settle in, which is very nice.
Right. As long as they continue to, like... I know this was a divisive point last week or the week before on the Discord or whatever. As long as they continue to preview the cards like they have been, we haven't really had a time where we've been able to settle. And it does cause this weird, like, divided release schedule.
Right.
So now we have, like, preview for digital, then Team Covenant, then everybody else.
Right.
And that's a little awkward, but for us, for our purpose and for the community's purpose right now, currently, like, I think we're on a pretty good schedule.
For sure.
Obviously, we only play digital for us, and the majority of people here only play digital through First 5 Fridays or Carousel or
if you are a digital player and you don't own the physical product, please go sub.
Yeah, go support Flat Hat. It's cool to have. Like,
yeah. I mean, the fact that, I mean, I think we got to make a note of that. I know we're late on this and we got to get out of here, but I just think we need to all give a bunch of claps in chat for Plaid Hat. I mean, I think that would be super important right now. I know there's not a ton of us left, but let's get some clap emotes going here. But to me, this is the first time a official publisher has embraced a tool like Ashteki ever, and that
one that's not like their product.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. There's no, I mean, Plaid has no monetary gain in people playing on Ashteki, right? Nothing to gain monetarily from that. Yet here they are saying, let's run an official event with prizes on this platform. And to me, that shows real innovation and it shows real thought and real care for this community. And I know that it doesn't replace Gen Con and them wanting Gen Con, but we'll have Gen Con next year. And Plaid Hat will be there. And Plaid Hat will have a great tournament at Gen Con. And I'm excited to be part of that. And they'll have Origins next year, we hope. I mean, we don't know what the world's going to look like, right? We have no way to plan for that appropriately. So, this is just an opportunity to thank them specifically for this event.
I mean, go tell them on social media, go tell them wherever you can that they're awesome and support their game. Like getting in, if you buy everything, is a little expensive the first time, but then you have it all, and like you don't have to buy it all. Like, but support them. I'm sure there are people in the community that just play digital and don't own any of it, and that's fine too, because obviously, like, that's a decision you can make. But we would highly recommend that you go support them, because if you want the digital continue, the paper has to continue too.
Now I just got to get with Zach over at TC and say, "Where's my affiliate link to subs?" I kid. All right, everybody, let's close it out. This has been Ashcon 2021. We're the Shuffle Bus. Thank you so much for spending the week with us. We've had nothing but a great time. We'll see you all on regular scheduled streams Tuesday and Thursday of next week. Have a fantastic weekend and go play some Ashes.